Thank you.
We're actually robots.
Thank
Mark
you,
and Emma
Google.
are not here. We're robots. We
Thank
don't
you.
exist.
Thank
We
you,
just,
Google.
the robot's programmed to touch his beard.
All right, so I like to kick my interviews off a little bit of a softball. So Emma, I'll let you kick it off with, what was your first job in the movie and TV industry?
That's soft. I don't remember. Oh my God, it was so long ago. I think my very first job was a Kmart commercial. I think that my very first job was a Kmart commercial. And I shopped the hell out of that. That's yeah, in that commercial. Followed by a bunch of horrible garbage television. I don't even know, just anything that I could be hired for, basically, thinking that I was super cool because I was just working and I was too pumped to work. And then like 90210 would have been my first proper job. Yeah. But prior to that, I hadn't done even that much prior to that. Just a bunch of like really embarrassing shows. Like just the worst, like the bottom of the barrel. I did not start out up here, you know, it was like, she's new, she'll go out for that trash.
But you're so honest.
Right?
Yeah.
She's like unabashed, just, yeah, it was all awful.
It was all trash. Every single thing.
Wow,
It's all
that
trash.
is amazing.
Yeah, so go ahead, keep asking me questions. You know you'll get enough answer.
Mark, I mean, what? I don't know if you can follow that up, Mark. I mean, I don't know.
I really can't. I was pumped. I got a Lexus commercial. I moved from England and I'd like nothing happened. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna, everybody gets a restaurant job and, people come in and they're like, oh yeah, you could do this, you could do this. And I'm like, I wasn't naive enough to go, oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna do that. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, cool. Yeah. And then, it was a Lexus commercial. Yeah, it was great. I was so stoked. No one cared. But I was stoked. My agent was like, yeah, it's great. I think I got an email. I don't think I got a call, in fact. I think I got an email. Maybe got an email. But that was it. Yeah, it was good. I was stoked.
You're so loud.
Yeah, I grew up on a farm in northern England. I got some ear damage. Still, she's always yelling at me around the house that I'm deaf as a post. It's not true. I deny it. I deny it.
Tiny little hearing aid right there would be super helpful.
That's not true.
This is incredible.
Just normalize it. Normalize the hearing aid. Normalize it.
I'm gonna go cry. I'm gonna go cry in the bathtub. But the film was great, just so you know.
Yeah. Yeah, you get to see these.
Okay, so Emma, to you, what attracted you to the role of Fran?
The massive paycheck, really. That was my first, the big payday. I'm kidding. It's an independent film. There was no big payday. Though I would say most of the jobs I've taken, I call them mortgage payment jobs. That's what I call most things. But this actually, well, first of all, I didn't audition. This was totally random. I put him on tape, and with Robin Lippen, who cast it. And she was actually the casting director who cast me in one of maybe several of those really crap jobs that I had early on. She was like, it was like, I love Robin. Yeah. So full circle. Yeah, she's back. And then, I'm putting him, I'm reading the off-camera dialogue, and then we get a call, or someone gets a call and then gives us a call, asking if I want to do it, because they were like, who did the off-camera dialogue? She's really good. And I was like, oh my God, you don't even know. You should see me in Renegade. Do you remember that show? That show was fire. No, I'm kidding. That was one of the trash things that I did. Yeah, so I got, and I was like, yes, sure. Sounds great. Cause I really liked what he was doing. I liked the piece. I love true life stories. I love the period. That's one of my favorite periods, period. So yeah, that's what attracted me. They asked me to do it, which is always nice. And I liked it. So I was like, hell yeah, let's go.
Mark, with the film based on a true story, what kind of preparation did you do for the role?
Interesting. Yeah, I was just talking to someone. It's interesting because I read the script and I really liked it, and I didn't know the story at all. I didn't know the story of San Francisco and Stinson Beach and all of the rest. And we were just saying that it was one of those strange things. I moved here, and there's obviously a different climate in Europe for everything, right? But racism is very different in different areas of the world, and how it kind of presents itself in America is very front forward. And I wanted to take, understand and just really embrace that aspect of it, which is the whole script. So I just did a lot of research, understanding kind of the climate in that time and trying to understand. We were asked earlier, like, were you surprised that was happening in California, quote unquote, as opposed to say a different state, which is much more prevalent?
The South.
And I wasn't surprised after being here, exactly, after being here for a short second, but like, because it hit me like a hammer. It really did. She's the funniest person in the room, always. It's terrible being married to her.
It's funny she says that as I sit in Nashville, Tennessee. So
yeah.
Oops. Sorry.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But yes.
But anyway, I don't know what I was saying. But no, the research aspect of it was great. And I tried really hard to find some kind of commonality with Mike's character. There's completely different characters and the separate points of view. But I tried as an artist to try and find some things that I appreciated about the African-American culture and why it was prevalent in the script and in the film. And I tried to employ those devices, like be a little kinder or softer spoken, even though I was manipulating everything the whole time. But it was really interesting. I like research. I love the 70s. I think it's cool if you can unapologetically look crazy with your hair off your face, or have walk around and you don't have to give anything about what people think or care about. And it's great. And I really, really enjoyed it. And everyone was really kind, which is probably the most important thing to me.
Yeah, my follow-up to that is, what was it like working opposite of Mike Colter?
Oh my God, I love him. I love him so much. I was a fan of his before. He just happened to be on some shows that I just like, I love this show. And he was always so good. And I didn't know how he was going to, like, I had an idea of how he was going to do the part just based on how I've seen him do, as other characters. And he was just so, he just became this very different human being, not just separate from the characters he's played, but just as who he is in life. Mike is a wonderful actor. He is a natural leader. He's funny. He's smart. He's very considerate of everyone's well-being. He treats everyone equally. He's just the best. I love him. And if you haven't watched the show Evil, I seriously recommend it because it's amazing.
Mark, same question to you.
I'd known Mike's work, some of Mike's work, but it was more of kind of like that first day experience, meeting him and just kind of like working out what he was going to do. When I read it, I didn't necessarily read it the way that Mike portrayed it. Mike portrayed it vastly more, I don't know, it just had more vibrance in his performance. It was really alive, and I don't know, he just did a really great job of the character, and it was nice to sit with him, off screen, have a beer, talk. It was we had a little second to get to know each other before filming, which, isn't always beneficial. It's not always, because you want to kind of keep, you have polarizing views. So you want to kind of separate yourself in terms of who you're playing, but he's just a really nice guy. And still to this day, he's a nice guy, and he's really communicative and kind, and he's a good person. And I think when you have someone like that at the top, it's always the director and the lead, right? They're always setting the tone, whoever it be,
Yeah, you said
it's just nice to have that kind of leadership at the top, and always willing to play. He's always willing to go. There was moments we were laughing outside, like there's moments in the helicopter and you laugh before you film it, just because like someone's cracking you up. It's just there's not one iota of pretense. Do you know what I mean? It's just a normal human being just killing it and doing his work, and he's super successful and he's good at what he does, and he shares that, as opposed to holding it in. So you learn from that, and
yes,
the energy is transferred. So it's just
wonderful,
a good experience. It was really great. Yeah, solid. A+.
A plus, 100%.
We have a 5-year-old. You can tell everything at her school is like, no, you did great. And Emma's like, no, A+, 100%.
Mommy, we don't do grades. I do grades. You got it.
Right, exactly, right.
Okay, I'm gonna say that was not. Okay.
I've got a 13-year-old that wishes they didn't do grades. I wasn't expecting this question to probably be as funny as it potentially is going to be now, but Emma and Mark, this is the second film that you're working on together. What was it like going on the set
What was
together?
the first film?
Camilla's.
That wasn't a film.
Well, it's a miniseries, but whatever.
Wait, this
So-
film?
Series, sorry.
No, I was like, oh, seriously, my memory is that bad. And I wouldn't be surprised because I did a convention years ago and somebody was like, hey, I saw you in Ireland. It was great to meet you again. I'm like, I've never been to Ireland. I've never been there. She said, no, you definitely were. I'm like, no, I definitely haven't. Then she had to show me pictures and I'm like, I was in Dublin. What?
Obviously, it's different when you're at home. And
You remember
stuff.
working with him now. Okay, sorry. Yes.
That was really fun. We had a really good time on that.
We did have a good time on that. That was really fun. But I would say that, we didn't actually work together. We didn't have any scenes together on this film. And I was grateful for that. Because I feel like it's hard working for me. It's hard working with my partner, my husband, if he were my boyfriend, I would say working with boyfriend, anybody that I'm like, you know me on this, you know me personally, like in my private space.
We also are very energetically different. Like we laughed before. Emma's definitely a cat and requires time and, private time, even on set and just like, whatever. I'm a dog. I'm like in the infectious energy of the person next to me. I'm feeding off it.
But not a little bitch. Get it? It's a joke. There you go. We lost him. He's gone. Oh no, we lost him. There you are. You're back.
This is definitely the very best interview to date. Just so you know, this is the most fun so far. But yeah, it is actually. It actually. I like working with her. But I know that she doesn't want to work with me, but I actually like working with her. But I do agree in the fact that I wasn't trying to be sweet. I'll be honest. It was one of the senses that when you do know someone like that, like she says, the ticks, the safety kid, the things that you do to try and hide from somebody on set, all that sort of stuff. So it's like we laughed. We're talking about a show that we both were whatever. And I was like, oh, we should definitely have in Australia, a joint trailer with a space in the middle for where we can share time with Knightley. And she's like, oh, honey, no, I want my own trailer with my own section. And I'm like,
there's no joining door.
Okay, we've been together.
My trailer's gonna be over there. Your trailer's over here. Wave to you. Like, hi, babe.
And you know what?
Hope you're having a good day over there.
Yeah.
And at home, what did you, because the thing is, I think it's always just like whatever relationship you're in, if you get home at the end of the day and you can't actually say without any honesty or transparency, how was your day? You're like, I was sitting next to you all day. Why are you asking me what my day was like?
We were together all day. You know exactly how my day was.
Scene 3 was awesome. Scene 4, not so great.
It didn't work because it's your fault. You did not do that scene very well.
And we have such a transparent relationship and such a good relationship that will be said in real time. So you can imagine how that can affect the psyche, right? You're like, oh, you were awful in that scene. I'm like, well, I've got my biggest scene coming up right now. Thanks for that.
Yeah, don't suck this time, okay? No, I'm kidding.
It's you and Julie Louis-Dreyfus are the two funniest people that are actually working on TV. It's ridiculous.
Well, yeah, Julie Louis-Dreyfus is she's a genius. She has my career. I wish I had her career. Oh my God. And like the 18 Emmys or whatever that she has. Jesus. She deserves them. She's the best. I'm also pretty good. But
you are pretty good. I love your body of work. It's pretty fun. I was excited to talk to you today. I've been a big fan for a long time. So
thanks. I was just joking with someone else. We did an interview, and he asked me what my very first job was, and I'm like, I have no idea. I don't know. Do you know what my first job was? I'm like, it was basically something garbage, and I trashed pretty much everything that I've ever done, with a handful of exceptions. You know, most of when people are like, I like your body of work. I'm like, really? Like, I can suspect that you like a couple of things, but if you were to take my body of work, I think you would be like, you just getting some bad advice. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, like, you know, doesn't happen for everybody. I don't know. I'm waiting for that. I'm always very happy when there's something that I'm really proud to talk about, because it makes this process infinitely easier. You know, than having to go and promote something. You're like, oh my God, what I want to say is don't go watch it, but I can't say that because they'll get mad at me. But
which ties into your first job, if you want to tell that quick story about you working as a restaurant, and I'm like, what's that thing?
Oh, that's right.
This is a really nice little anecdote.
I got fired. People ask, have you ever been fired? I have been fired twice in my life, once off a movie. Wasn't my fault though. If I could say that, because they tried to throw me into the ocean to shoot a scene when we were supposed to shoot in a tank. And I had said prior, like, I can't go in the ocean. I will literally like have a panic attack. I can't do that. So it's got to be in it. And then something happened with the tank, and they're like, we're going to have to go in the ocean. And I'm like, nope, like, not happening. I did actually attempt, this is not his story, but I did actually attempt to go in the water, to just try to be the best sport, because actors are always asked. I mean, we have the cushiest job imaginable, but when they do want something, most people don't care about your safety or feelings. Like, they just don't, like, just get in the water, like, just try. So I'm like, so I did. And the doctor who was there to sign off on me literally is like, you can't put her in the water. She will have a heart attack. You're going to kill her. She can't go in the water. She'll die. Like, she's stone cold, will just die in the ocean. So like, don't, but they still fired. They were like, you're fired. I'm like, it's kind of like I quit. I don't know. You're like saying you fire me, but it's your fault. Like, but the legit fire was when I worked as a cocktail waitress at a place, I don't remember the name of it, in Westwood, when I first moved here to go to college. And the drinks were cool, but the food was not. So, and the kitchen was really far away from everything. So, you know, people would come in and they'd be like, hey, how are the, you know, the Philly cheesesteaks? And I'm just like, I don't want to have to walk back to the kitchen, and they're not good. So I was like, actually, they're bad. Like, I would not order food here. Like, not. But I do recommend the Jello shots that they're doing right now. Those are really good. And they're like they're like half off. And they're like, okay, you know, and then they found out that I was telling people that their food was really bad. And they justifiably fired me for that. Like, I totally deserved that pink slip. So yeah, I tell the truth, I guess, is the point. Is that why we brought up that story?
I guess it was just kind of a diatribe, but that's great.
Yeah.
It was an absolute pleasure.
To what?
To talk. Thank you so very
Are we
much.
signing
guys.
off?
I think we're signing off, yes, because these are the things to do. So I'm just
Oh,
very
yes.
grateful for your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys so much for your time today.